Testing 1, 2. Plus, it gives me the perfect opportunity to
To
check.
try something new.
That and to check if I'm actually live on another video streaming site.
The new one that you were talking about.
Which, according to this, it looks like I'm not. Testing
Just
1,
now
2.
shows you went live on Twitch, so.
Well, it should show that I'm live on Twitch and YouTube.
And we have the please
And
stand
Facebook.
by part up for now.
I should be live on Facebook too. Let's see here.
Hi, Nikaya.
What up?
I hit 18 months subscribing today with a 6-month streak.
Woot woot.
Which would actually be, 20? That'd be a 2-year streak if I hadn't missed those 6 months.
Yep, give or take. Give or take. Alright, testing 1, 2. Alright. Live on Facebook. Live on Twitch. Hello, everybody on Twitch. And it looks like YouTube should be up and running too. Let me just double check. But for some reason, DLive is telling me I'm not live. Which is weird because I am synced. Unable to connect. Ooh. Wonder why it's unable to connect. That's not good. I'll have to try it again tomorrow. Maybe I'll do a few tests tomorrow afternoon and see what's what. Lady Death, I'm beating out on the host. That's so wrong. Just one host. Well, 2, actually. Alright, let me switch over to Facebook on my Kindle here. Boom. Because we be live. Make sure my media... Okay. Alrighty, folks. Boom,
Nikaya.
baby.
Looky. Oh, she can't see it yet. You don't have
Yeah, I don't have it up yet.
Hold, please.
Don't.
Please hold. Please hold.
I don't want to hold.
Alrighty.
I'm tired of holding.
Go to my camera angles here. Boom, baby. Hello, everybody. Here we are, Avenger Pretenders. Yay.
The geek and the redneck.
We are live. Live, people, live. Yes.
And Nikaya wants to know what she should hold on to. Well, that's up to you, dear. We're not gonna, that's all on you. But I was going to show you this. Look what I'm using.
Yep. Look what JT's using.
Are you happy now?
He's got his stuff together. That's right. All right. So we are live. Yes, it is Avengers Pretender. We're recording a live podcast. And JT, why don't you do the intro today?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Avenger Pretenders, right here on Accidental Punch TV, courtesy of Twitch TV.
Yes.
Tonight, we review episode 3 of Loki. Sit back, relax, grab your popcorn and your adult beverage, and have some fun.
Aw, look at that. And of course, your hosts, the Redneck, JT, and the Geek, Sully. Hi, guys. Welcome to Avenger Pretenders. Like JT said in the intro, we are talking about episode 3 of Loki, titled Lamentus. Oh, boy. A lot of mixed feelings for this episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, for one, it was the shorter episode of the 3.
Mm-hmm.
But not a lot happened. I mean, there are Easter eggs in there. There's a lot of callbacks to the previous episodes.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a little bit on the slow side, and for good reason.
Well, the thing of it is, I mean, and even with Falcon and Winter Soldier, I can remember at least one episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier that was slow to us.
Yes.
But look at everything that they put out in those first two episodes. They put out so much shit.
Yeah.
They had so many freaking Easter eggs.
Oh yeah.
In that second episode that we could have supplied the world with Easter eggs for Easter. And, so my thinking is it was a little slow, but not very much. But my thinking is they're setting up. They had to do the setups for all the things that are going to happen in episodes 4, 5, and 6.
Yes, and there was a lot.
Because they have just from my outside perspective, I can only imagine what it's like for you from your inside perspective. But from my outside perspective, they've got 5 episodes worth of crap.
Yes.
That they have to set up for, when in all actuality, they have to condense it into 3. So there's going to be a lot of shit left out.
Sure.
But there's also going to be a lot of stuff that neither me nor you expect to happen.
Yeah, and that's the thing, because again, from an insider point of view, from a comic book nerd like myself, there's a lot going on.
Yeah, Nakai says, okay, so it was short. It wasn't just me.
Nope.
They gypped me out of 20 minutes.
No, it was still a 40-minute episode.
Yeah.
It was still a 40-minute episode.
Yeah, but the other ones have been like 47, 49, something like that.
Yeah, they were close to the hour mark. Nothing to the point that it was too overbearing. And even with this one, it really wasn't that overbearing.
Right.
And that's kind of what I like about it. It showed a more...
Well, it gave you a chance to think.
Yeah, and there was it was a lot more on the emotional side for Loki. Both Lokis, by the way. Because, obviously the episode takes place directly after episode 2, where both Loki and the female variant of Loki go through a time box. They go through the time door.
Right. Now, before we dig into this too much.
Yep.
I need you to explain one thing to me.
Sure.
Well, it's kind of like 2 things in one.
Okay.
What is the background behind this planet that they went to? And
we'll get into that.
I mean, that's what lost me. That's where I kind of got lost.
Yep, we'll get into that.
I was still on track, but I was producing a parallel timeline,
right?
Because I wasn't exactly on course, because the planet and everything threw me off a little bit. So,
yeah, but we'll get into that. We will. We will get into that, because that is a huge reference to
I figured
to what has happened already in the MCU and what has also happened in the comics. So we will get into that for sure.
I had the feeling it was something huge, because I couldn't see them using that much of an episode for that.
Yeah, there's a lot of big ties. Big Tank says, "I'm here and gone. Didn't watch again, dude. I've warned you. I can't give you any more warnings." Spoiler alert in effect. Just saying, it's just gonna happen. So, like I said, episode 3, it takes place directly after 2, with both Lokis going into the wonderful doorway to go pretty much wherever. In this case, as the TVA is emptying out to deal with the sacred timeline getting bombed, both variant Lokis go through
Loki and She-Loki.
Well, yeah, but we'll get into She-Loki in a little bit.
That way I know which one you're talking about.
Sure. Big Tank says he's been busy doing shit, hanging with my friend, his wife, and newborn. Hey, all the more power to you, dude. I'm
I
just
don't
saying.
like you anymore. You have a life.
Not really.
No, kidding.
We don't have a life.
We understand, Tank. We
But
understand.
yes, we understand. Just saying. Just put
And nothing is saying that you can't watch the show, watch this show and then go and watch the episode and, see how right or wrong we are.
So Lady Death
Yeah.
just says, for some reason it confused me, and that's perfectly fine. We are going to clear it up. So
yeah.
one of the things that, if you notice, when the female Loki goes into the TVA, she automatically tries to use her powers, and she can't. Because we know she can't.
Right.
You can't use magical powers there. So she tries
She
to
didn't
take
look
over.
too happy about that.
No, she was not happy about it at all. Because it was one of those things where it really shocked her, because for her, she had never been there.
Yeah, and she's been able to go to all these different places and never had a problem with using her powers. And everything.
Right. So from there, she's going throughout the halls, basically kicking the crap out of the Minutemen left and right, evaporating them. And
See, that's one thing. Who the hell trained these people? Because not one of them can fight.
well, you got to remember,
Not one of them can fight.
let's just go out on a limb here and say they can fight. The female variant of Loki and Loki himself, thousands and thousands of years old. They know so many different fighting styles. Many different fighting styles. Not only that, but they still have superhuman strength. They just can't use magic.
Right.
So they're still able to pick people up and throw people and do whatever they need to do.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, to say the least, with what's going on.
I mean, in all the fights that she had, she did get popped a couple times.
Oh, she
she
did.
got sent for a ride a couple of times. But compared to
Absolutely.
the number of people that she kicked their ass, it should have been a lot more. In my thinking,
Gotcha. So from there, obviously Loki shows up. He starts seeing the carnage that's going through with the TVA of all the Minutemen that are actually still in the building, or the tower, or the section of time that, time has no meaning. And we see him showing up to his locker and getting his knives. Yay! He's got his weapons back. So from there, Loki pursues the other female Loki, and they get into a nice, wonderful scuffle. Nice little
that was
scuffle.
a good fight.
But the funny thing is, not only is he fighting her, but he's also fighting the Minutemen too.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and in a way, and if you think about it, yeah, he's fighting her, but he's also fighting himself.
yes.
You know what I mean? So it's like he
Yes.
had three different fights going on at the same time.
Yes.
One of them more mental than anything else.
Sure. And
You know,
we'll
And
also
that's
get
gonna
into that.
affect you whether you think about it or not.
We'll also probably get into that a little bit too, because later on, something tries to happen and it doesn't work. So
Right.
while they're fighting, Ravonna Renslayer shows up to basically threaten the female variant of Loki and kill her. Only it doesn't happen that way. Loki activates the Tempad and boom, they disappear. They go through time. Yay! And mostly because he still has something going on in his head that, hey, maybe I can convert this female variant of Loki to work together and take out
Right.
the TVA.
Or take over.
Yeah, but their fight continues. Their fight just goes on and on.
Yeah.
They show up. They show up on the planet Lamentus. Now, for those that don't know, what is it? Lamentus 1 is actually the planet. And and this is where some things happen. So first, before I get into the explanation of Lamentus 1, JT, so I clarify it for you, the fight between both Lokis still go on, and obviously the two of them are kicking the crap out of each other until they're pretty much like two older brothers wrestling on the floor, and finally, but they're both panting and trying to catch their breath before they get back up and do it all over again. Okay?
Right.
And that's pretty much what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The old Captain America, I could do this all day. I could do this all day.
I've done this all day.
Yeah, I've done this all day. And even our Loki, the time traveler Loki, says we can do this all day and we're still going to be doing this. So let's just chill out for a little bit.
Right.
Lady Death says she wants a pair of those knives.
But it would be cool to have.
I'm pretty sure
they
they're
would fit
around.
nicely in her collection too.
I'm pretty sure that there's replicas that would be the possibility of getting, you know. But now the thing is, with the two of them fighting, Loki has the tempad and he makes it disappear, so the female variant can't get it. He's hidden it. It's gone.
Right.
It's in the same plane of existence as the Tesseract was in Endgame. He just pulled it out of nowhere. So yay for that. Once they figure out that he's got it and he's not going to give it up to her, they have to, one, find out where they are. And the minute they go outside of the bunker and they hear crashing and things are hitting the buildings and whatnot, that's when the female variant understands that this is Lamentus 1 in the year 2050. And right, is it 2050? No, sorry, 2050 was where they came from. This one, I forget if they actually said the year. Do you remember if they said the year?
I don't recall off the top of my head.
I can't remember if they said the year, but they did show that it was Lamentus 1, but I just don't remember if they actually had the year on that title card. I'll have to go back and look. But
see if I can figure it out.
Lamentus 1 is the place that obviously there was an apocalyptic event. Okay?
Right.
And from there, the apocalyptic event was the planet was crashing into the moon.
2077.
Thank you. 2077. Lovely, isn't it? Lovely. Okay? 2077. And this is the apocalyptic event. It's gonna crash and burn. The moon is crashing into Lamentus 1. Okay?
Yeah.
And the female variant of Loki is pissed because if they don't get off that planet, they're gonna die.
Right.
Not a good way to go out.
so instantaneously the both of them sit there and try to come up with a way to create an alternate timeline, which would be just as bad,
Yes.
as the bombing of the timeline.
Yes. So to rewind just a little bit with Lamentus 1, and this is mostly for anybody who hasn't read the comics. Lamentus,
I'm going to quit raising my hand because it would be up all the time. So.
Yeah, pretty much. Lamentus Lamentus was first introduced in the Annihilation Conquest prologue that
okay.
really it brought out the modern day Guardians of the Galaxy, like Star-Lord, Groot, Drax, Gamora,
Okay.
Rocket. It's the modern day incarnation of the Guardians of the Galaxy. There have been many different Guardians of the Galaxy teams throughout the MCU, but this is the beginning of the MCU version, but only in the year 2075. Okay, and obviously there's going to be a lot of stuff going on with it. It exists in the Kree Empire, which we all know the Kree exist because we've seen Guardians of the Galaxy, so we know the bad guys are there. And we also know that, obviously, this is in the future. But what you don't know are the heroes that come out of this, which opens up a whole new doorway for more characters to come into the MCU. two of which would be Quasar and Moondragon. Now you can see JT's look. He's like, what?
I just try to keep things straight, you know.
Right. But you got to remember, we're not going to see these guys yet. But it'd be really,
Right.
really cool once we do. Okay? You know, they're the ones that kept the peace, so to speak, you know?
Gotcha.
So, with this is in the future,
Mm.
and the moon is crashing into the planet. Okay?
Which would not be a good thing. I mean, you know.
No. So, from there, they got to figure out how they can get out of here. So they come across a building. They see a wonderful woman in the building, and female Loki decides to, just break down the door and get shot
Well,
and sent.
To clarify, they didn't know the woman was there.
True, but they did hear a voice.
They knew somebody was in there, and they went up. And Loki says, "Well, was trying to do it in a diplomatic
way."
And Loki wasn't going for that. She's like, "We don't have time to waste.
We need to get in there and see what's in there." And boom!
Yeah, we need to get in there and figure out what's going on."
She goes flying.
And I love how she got blasted. It was hilarious.
Oh, it was so funny. I was laughing my head off because I'm like, yeah, that would happen to our Loki.
yeah. If I hadn't been laying down, I would have fell down.
Yeah,
because that was funny as hell.
Yeah, so
almost as good as when Loki gets it.
Yes, which Loki decides to.
Want to say hi to Kathleen?
Hi, Kathleen.
Just joined us via Facebook.
Hello. Thanks for tuning in tonight. We're talking about episode 3 of Loki. So if you haven't watched it, spoilers. If you have, good for you. But just letting you know, spoilers. As Big Tank ran for the hills, because he doesn't want to get it ruined, but he knows it's Monday. It's 8/21. We're going down. We're breaking it down. So from there, Loki also tries to do the diplomatic thing, but also tries to do the fooling thing. Because he did notice a picture of the woman that we just saw blast female Loki out the door and flying, and he decided to change his appearance to look more like her husband, or possibly dead husband. We don't know.
Right.
And, he got it too.
I'm thinking dead husband.
I think so
mainly
too.
because of the comment that she makes after she blasts him.
Which was?
Because after she blasted him, he was being all nice and sweet and lovey-dovey and all that when he was talking to her.
Yep.
And she blasted his happy ass and said, "He's never said anything nice like that to me in 40 years."
Yep. See you later.
Kathleen says that her husband was into the Avengers.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. See? So we are talking about Loki, so if you haven't watched it, get into it. So from there, they find out that the only way off planet is to get on a train and get to an ark. And this is, for me, the traveling from this bunker to the ark.
It gets really slow.
It's very slow, but it's also very revealing. And I like that it's revealing. I like that they mention a good number of different things. Now, in this case, it's more revealing for Loki himself and female Loki, which they decide once they get to the train, they're going to pose as a guard and a prisoner and get on the train. And, they kind of work together to get on the train, where one takes over someone's mind and Loki pretends that he's an actual guard, and they get on the train, which is perfect.
Right. And, Loki told her, I've got it taken care of, let me handle it. And if she hadn't have stepped in and taken over the guard's mind that was taking the tickets,
yes,
they wouldn't have gotten on the train.
Yes. And
they ended up working together to do that.
yes, absolutely. And it also got to the point where the two of them were so tired that, they were both like, why don't you rest? Why? So you can take this and take that? No, I don't trust you.
Right.
Well, at this point in time, we're learning about Kathleen. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it.
Join us tomorrow night for the Sully Show at 8 p.m.
There you go. So from here, we're seeing more and more background to not just Loki, but female Loki. Obviously, one Loki knew his mother and was taught magic. The female variant of Loki didn't know her mother and wasn't taught magic. She had to teach herself how to do it. Same when it came to love interest. They, the biggest thing was, oh, Loki's bi. Sure. So's Deadpool.
Yeah, I like to say Loki's adventurous.
Adventure. There you go. Because even Lady Loki says, is there a princess in your life or a prince, maybe?
Prince.
And right off the bat, Loki says a little bit of both. A little bit of both. But see, you got to remember, this variant of Loki really doesn't care. He's out for one thing and one thing only, to rule. That's his goal.
Now, hang on, to pause for a second here. Western Echo just came in and says, good evening, gentlemen. Still not convinced. That's 3 episodes in now, and while Easter eggs are cool, there's been pretty much little to no plot. Now, Echo, I will say this.
We mentioned that.
Oh, yeah, a couple of times. But I will say this. I was at the same point that you're at now when it came to Wanda.
Yeah, WandaVision. And I'm like, push through.
When I got done with episode 3, I was like, okay, I'm done. I can't take it. But I decided to go ahead and give myself one more episode. And I'm glad I did.
Yes.
Because the one more episode that I went ahead and watched was episode 4. And episode 4 was where, holy crap, it got good really freaking quick.
Yeah.
So hang in there, brother.
And from there, Loki finally says, a little bit of both. They're revealing some information about themselves to each other, but not a lot.
Right.
Not a lot. Mostly because we know most of Loki's backstory. We just don't know female Loki's backstory. And we still don't. Western Echo says, see, Wanda threw a few clues out, especially up in episode 1, even more in 2, then tons of them in 3, then everything unraveled. Not the same thing. It is very true. That did happen that way, but episode 4 with WandaVision kind of just went boom.
Boom.
Here you go.
It was kind of like a planet smashing into a moon.
Yeah, this is, obviously 6 episodes, and we're still working on things a little bit. So I do agree with you. This series is slow moving, but like I said, there's a lot of doors opening up for new stuff, which, like you said, the Easter eggs are cool and all,
right?
But there's no plot, which brings me to our little transition from on the train to what happens next. First and foremost, did you notice the biggest issue with this episode when it comes to the destruction of a planet? Silence.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know.
So I'm gonna paint a picture for you.
Okay.
Have you ever seen the movie 2012?
Yes.
Death and destruction. The world is doing what it's doing. People are dying. How are they going to get free? By being freaking rich and buying a ticket to an ark to get off planet.
Right. I mean, that part there, I mean, even with Titanic,
Yeah.
At one point in Titanic, if you were rich, you were getting put on a boat first.
You're on first
You
class,
know,
baby.
so that's a repetitive
Yes.
part, I guess you
A
could say,
repetitive
in
theme
multiple
in
movies.
Hollywood
But
when it comes to world-ending
yeah,
movies or TV shows.
right.
And my kid is still awake. I'm not happy. I will cut that part out. So, from here, Loki gets drunk.
Yes,
Loki gets drunk. And he
and does
gets,
his own version of karaoke.
yep, does his own version of karaoke. And the best part is female Loki is like, what the fuck are you doing? Let's see. Western Echo also says, "Here's the other gripe. I get it. Setup is important. I'm a huge fan of meticulous story / character development. But take of Age of Ultron for example. Undeniable, a setup movie, but Josh stylized it with enough packaging to make it entertaining, even though the plot was not very interesting at all. I just don't feel like they're trying at all. I think they're. I think you're right. I do think you're right that they're not trying to the extent. But the other, and this is my gripe with Age of Ultron, which to me, I will say that Age of Ultron is the least favorite Avengers movie. And it's also, to me, the least favorite MCU movie. And people bash Iron Man 3 left and right. They bash Captain Marvel. I personally think Age of Ultron was the worst. Because
Well,
it wasn't the Age of Ultron. It was the fight with Ultron.
Right.
That's it. That's all it was.
I think, to me, it seems like they're getting into a storyline that is highly, highly complicated. I mean, there's so many things that they're trying to stay true to when it comes to the timeline and that kind of thing, that I think the effort to stay within that story is putting a damper on everything else.
Yeah. Yeah.
With Wanda and Falcon and Winter Soldier, it was wide open because they weren't doing anything like messing with a timeline and all that kind of stuff. So it was easy for them to flow like they always did.
Yes. Now
With
the
this,
other thing.
I just think it's too complicated for them to do it the way they normally did, and I think maybe they just got it a little bit off.
Yeah. And that's where I'm wondering if they're going to turn it around come episode 4.
Mm-hmm.
I really
because I mean, like I said, they did a lot of setup.
Yeah. So
in 3.
now the one thing is, while this was going on and Loki was singing and getting drunk and serenading everybody, we did notice. Well, one of the Easter eggs that I noticed was the bartender was very familiar with Asgardians.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a good callback to the first Thor, where Thor's sitting in the cafe and he drinks the coffee and goes, "Another!" and slams it. Great callback to that. Mm-hmm. And the bartender was right there with a new drink, ready to go. New cup, new drink. She was ready. So that was a very interesting Easter egg because she was on top of it. Mm-hmm. Like, all right. So now, security comes back into the room and notices that Loki's not in the security gear. And, well, female Loki is female Loki. And a fight ensues.
I thought the funny part of that, of what ended up starting the fight was him trying to conjure up the tickets.
Yes.
To show them, and he comes out with the freaking fireworks display. It's like,
oops.
Yeah, that didn't work. And that, then the brawl breaks out.
Yeah. And not only did the brawl break out, but I even loved as they were fighting, he knocked one of the guys down and he gets back up and he's like, will you stop that? Just sends him out.
Just stay down, would you? Just stay down.
Sends him out the window. Western Echo says, as an opinion, Age of Ultron was not worse than Captain Marvel or the Black Panther. That's why I said it's the worst Avengers movie. And I said maybe it's the worst in the MCU. I didn't like it as much as I wanted to.
And we all have different opinions.
Right.
You know?
I liked it, but I felt that if you're going to do Age of Ultron, you got it. That's Age of Ultron is an Avengers Infinity War saga type thing to me, because the original Age of Ultron comics was long.
Yeah, they went through the Age of Ultron pretty quick.
That's why I said it was the fight with Ultron.
Yeah.
Because the comic alone, and I think, if I remember correctly, I mean, there was a good, I want to say maybe like 10 issues for the Age of Ultron. You know? So that's why I'm like, okay. I thought it was cool that Ultron was on screen, because that was fantastic. But I could have sworn, I could have thought Age of Ultron could have been a lot better to an extent. I think it was just more fan service, and that it was also Joss was on his way out, and Kevin Feige wanted it a certain way, and Joss didn't want to do that, so he did what he did. I don't think he put his all in it.
Right.
And there have been interviews with Joss saying that, you know, certain things got changed or taken out or put in or whatever, but it happens. It happens, you know. If you're going to do direct a movie for Marvel, you have to have the right formula and do it their way, but also bring your own creativity to it. And I think that's what kind of sparked things, you know. But in the long run, coming back to Loki, now we have an issue with the fight because Loki gets sent out the window.
That was funny.
You know,
I didn't expect him to go flying out the window. He went flying out the window. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, and I thought that was really cool. Because let's face it, he's not Thor. You know, yes, he knows how to fight. Yes, he's got different fighting styles, but he's not Thor. Eventually, someone's going to chuck him out the window. And then, of course, female variant of Loki follows afterward too, because he's got the tempad. You know, right. He's got it. And while the two of them are outside of the train, she goes, "Where's the tempad?" And, "Oh, it's right here. I still have it." And it's broken. It's in pieces.
See, and here's my thing on that scene.
Yes.
I'm wondering if it's a fake.
The tempad?
Yes.
No,
I'm wondering if he's still got the actual one, and this is just a replica.
So I thought about that too, but even though Loki is a backstabber, he wouldn't fake that because he needs to get back to the TVA just as much as she does.
Right.
So that's why I don't think it was a fake, because otherwise, well, but again, I could be wrong. You know,
playing devil's advocate, it could always be, I still want to hold on to it until I know for a fact that we won't be able to get away with this.
Right. Right.
With trying to get on the ark. So maybe he's holding that back. But when you look at the end of the episode, it does kind of blow that theory, and I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. It's one thing that you'll definitely learn about Loki is you need to expect the unexpected.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
And that's why that popped into my head.
and it's right for you to do that. Definitely right for you to do that. Now, because the tempad's broken, female Loki has a wonderful temper
Connection
tantrum.
fit. She throws a conniption.
Yep. And it gets to the point where even Loki's like, "Do you feel better?
Yeah.
Are you done now?" But this is also where, as they're trying to get to the arc that they need to get to,
Mm-hmm.
we find that female Loki does not want to be called Loki, and that she took on the alias of Sylvie.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for those that know the comics, Sylvie is also the name of the Enchantress. But in this case, she's not the Enchantress. She's just Sylvie. She took the name Sylvie. So that's a little bit of an Easter egg because the Enchantress was in the Marvel comics. Okay. Lady Loki, but you know what? She went, nope, I'm Sylvie for this.
Right.
Which is fine. Which is perfectly fine. Will it tie to the Enchantress? Maybe. Not sure. But we're going to get there because while they're walking and they're pretty much hurrying to get off this planet and get to the Ark, the moon's crashing into the planet. So the Ark is not able to lift right now, and more rich people are still trying to get on. If you didn't have a ticket, you weren't getting on.
Right.
That's one of my biggest gripes with the Hollywood cliche of the world is going to end, only the rich can survive.
Right.
That always irked me and will always continue to irk me because the rich don't know shit.
Yeah.
Why? Because you know what? If the world is being destroyed, you're not rich anymore. You're just like everybody else. Just saying. Just saying. So there's I don't want to say there's a come to Jesus meeting between the two, but this is when Sylvie kind of lets something slip that when she was probing C20's memories to find out where the timekeepers were, that she had to keep projecting a memory from hundreds of years prior to C20 joining the TVA.
Right.
Which that basically gave the aha moment to Loki because Sylvie, come to Odin meeting. Thank you. Come to Odin meeting. But this was one of those revelations that C20 is a variant of herself from
Right.
hundreds of years prior to being in the TVA. And she remembers it. She remembers those. She remembers that. But she doesn't remember Sylvie. Because even Sylvie's like, we're best friends. We're best friends. We're buds. We do this every Friday night. That type of thing.
Right.
So it goes to show that the variants, those are variants that basically did something wrong and became a TVA agent to clear their name or get out of their sentencing, just like Loki.
Yeah, that was an interesting twist on everything. I was wondering. I've been wondering. Where did these? How did these agents come to be?
Yeah.
And everything, and and she threw that out there, and I was like,
Which also comes to back up my theory of the rings on the table of Renslayer's office there was different variants of Mobius leaving his cup on that desk. So we're seeing that everything's getting tied together and that the TVA is not what it seems to be. Okay? So Now, that changes a lot of things because now Loki's brain is on, like, I don't know, what would you call it?
Overload.
No, I wouldn't call it overload. Maybe nitrous. It's on nitrous.
Okay. Yeah.
Because now he needs to figure out how to get the two of them off the planet before imminent destruction with the moon. But at the same time, also to get back to the TVA and charge the tempad and hijack the Ark.
Mm-hmm.
With just him and Sylvie.
Right.
So now is when the action hits. Let's face it, the brawl on the train, that was good and all. Big Tank says, high alert? Yeah, nitrous. His brain is on overload on nitrous.
Yeah, just a little.
It's firing on all cylinders right now. So the two of them finally race because, the moon's crashing into the planet. Explosions are happening. Buildings are burning down. And they come face to face with the guards and a crowd of people trying to get on the Ark all at once. And just like the apocalyptic event that they know about because they read about it, they told us about it, the Ark gets destroyed.
Right.
While the two of them are fighting. And let's face it, the two of them make a really good fighting team.
They do.
They really do. I think their screen chemistry is great together. But, yeah, one's a variant of Loki. So they're going to be able to fight. The fact that the planet is getting closer and closer to the moon and the Ark is now destroyed on liftoff, now they're running into a problem because the meteors are hitting and everything goes to dark.
Yeah, they're pretty much up shit creek without a paddle and a hole in the boat.
Yes. So with their only way to get off the planet destroyed, now they're stranded. And this is where I think JT's theory may be right. I really do. I think your theory may be right. Now, I want to kind of add to that theory because it just popped in my head. What if Loki's already on the Ark?
He's dead.
No.
Well, that variant would be.
Here's my theory. So you got to remember, Loki can project himself. He can duplicate himself. He can trick your mind.
Right.
So what if they were on the train and he wasn't really on the train?
Well, my question would be, would he go
to the lengths to get that thing charged? Yes.
Well, no. Nothing about to get that thing charged. Would he go through the battle scene, or not the battle scene, but the fight scenes and all of that if he was already on the Ark?
Yes.
What would the use be if he was already there?
To keep up the facade. Which is why you don't see him.
I can't see it, but that doesn't mean that, that doesn't mean that.
It's just a theory.
Right. I can't see that.
It's just a theory, though.
Yeah.
Because we're not going to know until Wednesday. We're really not. We're not going to know until Wednesday.
Or in Nakaya's case, Friday, because she waits till Friday to watch it. So.
Well, she better watch it the Wednesday coming up next week, I believe, because we got to do a show a little sooner because I'll be on vacation. But we'll get into that in a little bit. So it ends with the two of them standing there, the Ark destroyed, and I believe they kind of just walk away from it. Very, very sad, disheartened, let down, so to speak. So that obviously we're gonna
kind of dumbfounded.
Yeah. Like
I think that was the look on Loki's face there at the end. Was there was a little bit of, well, shit, we're screwed. But at the same time, to me, he kind of had a look of, like he was dumbfounded because
Yes.
plan didn't work. And his
Yeah.
plans always work.
Yeah, and well, to an extent anyway.
Yeah, Nakai says Loki didn't. He stared.
He just stared at it.
He just stared at the sky like,
Yeah.
what the hell do I do now?
Which for him was the same exact stare that he gave when the Avengers were standing over him after kicking his ass.
Mm.
I'll have that drink now.
We've seen that look a couple of times.
Yeah. So now, like I said, we've got a lot going on. We got the destruction of Lamentus 1. We've got the truth that the TVA agents are variants from the different timelines throughout the main timeline that now work for the TVA. We also have the revelation that Sylvie did not grow up with a mother, but Loki did. So that proves different branches of the timeline. The multiverse, which is going to tie to WandaVision and Doctor Strange. So we've got all these different things tying together now. Will we see new heroes coming up? Maybe. But one of the Easter eggs that I have to mention because it's so cool. I don't know if you picked up on it, JT.
Probably not.
when the soldiers at the beginning on the train before they got on, did you know their names, or did you hear their names?
No.
Okay, so their names are Corporal Hicks and Private Hudson. Do you remember, or have you heard where those names are from?
Falcon and Winter Soldier?
No.
No?
Not a Marvel movie. Or comic or TV show. Well, now it probably is.
You got me then.
It's the name of Michael Biehn's and Bill Paxton characters in Aliens.
Echo nailed it. Nikaya says, I think he is on the Ark, and the Ark took off, and he projected the destruction.
Good theory, but I don't think so.
See, that's right along the lines of what you were saying, though, that he's already on the Ark.
Yes. I don't think he destroyed it, mostly because they needed it to charge that tempad. But again, this is where my theory is going, because, yes, you know what? Maybe because she fell asleep, it's all in her head right now.
You know what? I didn't think about that.
Because when she woke up, he wasn't in uniform. Drunk or not, Loki is smart enough to keep that uniform on. That's why my theory is it's all in her head.
That throws a huge...
But again, it's just a theory, though.
But I can see them doing that.
Yes, absolutely.
I can very easily see them doing that.
Yes.
Especially in this kind of environment with the way that they've been doing everything. And the guy says, wait.
Yep.
But with the way that they've been doing everything and showing them messing with the timeline and everything else, and the fact that it's been established that you can do anything inside an apocalyptic event, as long as the apocalyptic event is allowed to still happen.
Yes. So, okay, so Lady Death says...
that throws up some huge...
Right?
Wait a minute.
So Lady Death says he figured out how to jack with her mind like she does to others, so he made all this show up in her mind, and none of it is real. It is a possibility. Again, it's just a theory. Just a theory. Okay?
But it works, though. Think about it.
It does.
What would be the worst thing that could happen in her mind? Because he knows how terrified she is and how badly she wants to get off this planet.
Yep.
Than to have that temp pad destroyed.
Exactly.
And to be stuck on this planet in an apocalyptic event where she has no out.
Exactly. Exactly.
because he can turn around now and sit there. And she's walked off at the end. She's at the end of the episode. She has walked off, and he is on the screen by himself.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just kind of standing here like,
Yep.
what the hell?
That's
So this would be the perfect opportunity for him to turn around and go
Sure.
find her and say, "Look,
I got it.
I'm gonna cut you a
charged it.
deal. I'm gonna cut you a deal. Let's work together to go after the TVA,
Yeah.
or we die."
Or we die. And he'll do it.
Dude, see, now you didn't say earlier when you expanded on my idea, you didn't say then that she was still asleep. You didn't say that.
But she might have been.
But
We don't know.
You drop that nugget, dude. The other stuff I couldn't really see them doing.
Yeah.
This I could see them doing, especially with Loki.
Yeah.
Because what is Loki? He is the god of mischief. He uses shit like that to his advantage to get people to work for him.
Exactly.
I can see that happening.
It's a great theory.
It is.
It's a great theory. And I hope something like that happens. I really do. I hope something like that happens. So, in the long
It's
run,
going to be interesting.
what would you give the rating of 1 to 5 Loki helmets?
I'll give it 3. I'll give
Okay.
it 3.
Yeah, I'm right there with you with the 3. I really am.
Like I said, I think this hopefully this will be the lowest rated episode of the 6.
It's possible.
Because, like I said, at the beginning, and even Nakaya's at 3 helmets at the beginning of the show, that they had so much that they had to set up for.
Right.
And the thing of it is, man, when you tossed out the part that she's asleep, that honestly, in my head, that sealed the timeline.
There it is.
Not the timeline, but the storyline.
Mm-hmm.
That made it all make sense.
That's what I would do.
with the way that they were doing everything, because they, like I said, they've got a lot to set up for.
Yeah.
For the next 3 episodes to finish this thing.
Yes. Absolutely.
And with that scenario, with the fact that he's in her head, and it would be a seamless transition from real life to her dream.
Yep.
So, I give it 3. It was a good episode. It wasn't a great episode.
But it was slow.
I was waiting for it. I was waiting for that episode where they set everything up, and I figured it was going to be within the next 2 episodes, and I think that's what they did in this one. So,
yep.
That's the reason I give it my lowest rating yet with 3 helmets.
And I'm right there with you with the 3. I thought it was a little bit slow. The Easter eggs were cool, just like Echo said. The Easter eggs were cool, but it also brings up a lot of theories and a lot of what ifs. So that's why I'm sticking with my 3 as well. So this episode did get a 3 from both of us. Hopefully Wednesday's episode will, make up for that. We'll see.
Hopefully, you actually have me excited. You actually have me excited with that image in my head.
Yeah.
You have me excited to see what happens on Wednesday.
Yep, and it's gonna be great. So, guys, thank you for tuning in, and thank you for downloading Avengers Pretenders Episode 3 for Loki Lamentus. We are live on Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern. In about 2 weeks, we will actually do a show after Loki airs, just so we can keep the show going. Don't forget, Tuesdays at 8 p.m. is the Sully Show, and Thursdays at 8 p.m. right here on Accidental Punch TV. Twitch.tv/Accidental Punch is Shout Out with JT. Guys, thank you very much for tuning in.
Before you close everything down, Nakai has an interesting question.
Oh.
She asks, so what is coming after Loki?
That.
Now, we know we have Black Widow coming out July 9th.
Yes. July 9th is Black Widow. We could probably do an episode on that. Yep. But then we also have Shang-Chi. We also have Spider-Man, Eternals, Doctor Strange. There's a lot going on. And there's also a lot of shows that are in development right now. So
I think what we should do, and this is off of her comment, I think we should sit down and do some kind of a mini storyline. What's coming in the future,
yeah, we can
kind
do a
of thing
breakdown.
to kind of set things up like that.
Yeah, we can do a breakdown. For sure. For sure. So, guys, thanks for tuning in. I do appreciate it. As always, we are going to do a raid. The podcast will be available to download as of tomorrow. So, yay. And we'll go from there. So we will see you tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern for the Sully Show. Thanks for tuning in. And let's find out who we can raid tonight. Let's see here. Twitch. Let's go to Twitch. And let's do a really quick raid here. Boom, boom, boom. La, 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 la. Wow, they changed a lot of stuff around. Holy crap. Let's see. Who's live? Nope, didn't want that person. You know what? We're gonna raid Baker TV. We're gonna raid Baker TV. Hold on, let's see. We got noise going. Got noise going. Holy crap! Let me get to my Twitch dashboard here, and we're gonna do raid at Baker _ Nope, that's not an underscore. Where's my underscore? Baker TV _ Hope I got that right. Let me just double check. Yes, I did. So we're going to raid Baker TV. Hope everybody has a wonderful evening, and we will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great night, people. Have a great night. Later. Goodbye. So long. Farewell.
So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, goodbye.
I hate to go and leave this pretty side. We out. Bye.